Hello and welcome to PMCLounge.com. In this video, we are discussing the very basics of Agile. And we have done some videos in the past around Agile and related concepts. I'll share links to those videos in the description, and I'll also let you know during the course of this session on which link to refer to for what topic. But this session is for those who don't know anything about Agile, or for those who want to brush up their concepts and understand the very basics of Agile. So without any further ado, let's get started. A quick reminder, please hit the like button if you enjoy videos on PMC Lounge, because that seems to be the only way YouTube is going to let you know every time we upload new content. All right, so let's get down to the very basics. What is Agile? And I'm not going to throw in jargons like time box and Scrum, sprint, and product backlog and backlog grooming and sprint retrospective. I'm not going to do all that because this is a 101 session. This is about the very basics. This is for someone who does not know what Agile is. And even for those who know Agile, who work on Agile day to day, but might have forgotten the very roots of what Agile really is and what it represents. So let's answer the question, what is Agile? Agile is a set of methods and methodologies. Now, there is a lot of dispute online, if I can use that word. There's a lot of, I'd say, discourse and discussions around how Agile is not a methodology. Agile is not a methodology. Well, Agile is actually a set of methods and methodologies. It is not a single methodology. It is a set of various methods and various methodologies. And just to give you an example, here's an article that talked about how Agile is not a methodology, and Agile is basically an approach to collaborative problem solving. And then it gets down to the Agile mindset, which we will talk about in a different video. But of course, Agile is not a single methodology. Agile is a set of methods and methodologies. Keep that in mind. But that's not all. Agile is also an approach, which is what we saw in the screenshot that I just showed you. It said Agile is basically an approach, but Agile is also a mindset. You have to have an agile mindset. I hope you would have heard about this somewhere. Even if you have never heard anything about agile, even if you have heard some of this, understand the fact that when somebody asks you what agile is all of it. Agile is a set of methods and methodologies. Agile is an approach. Agile is a mindset. So let's continue and talk more about what Agile really is, because how can it be so many things? How can it be a set of methods and methodologies and mindset and approach? How can it be all of it? Well, the fact of the matter is all these set of methods and methodologies, they have their different areas to address. They have their different areas of focus and concerns. So these set of methods and methodologies, they address all the areas of traditional software engineering. And what are these areas of traditional software engineering? They are project management, software design, architecture, as well as process improvement. These are some of the areas of the traditional software engineering, and the methods and methodologies that make up Agile basically address all these areas. And it is possible that one of the methodology only talks about project management, one of the methodology only talks about process improvement, and we are going to see it in our discussion in the coming slides. But understand the fact that Agile is a set of methods and methodologies because they address different areas or all the areas that make up the traditional software engineering. Now, each of these methods and methodologies, they contain streamlined and easy to adopt practices. So all these methods and methodologies, what's common between them is that they have streamlined and easy to adopt practices. They are not complex, they are not heavyweight, they are lightweight, streamlined, easy to adopt practices that these methods and methodologies introduce for you. Now, to ensure that the team, your team, has the right mindset, Each agile methodology or method comes with a set of values that can guide the team members. And we'll also talk about these set of values in our future videos. But understand the fact that Agile is basically addressing a lot of things here. We have a set of methods and methodologies. What they do is they address all the areas of traditional software engineering. We also understand the fact that these methods and methodologies, they contain streamlined and easy to adopt practices. And once again, we talk about mindset as well, just to ensure that our team is adopting these methods and methodologies. There is a set of values that these methods and methodologies come with, so that the team members can be guided by it and can use these. So remember some of the keywords here. Practices is one, and then values is another keyword here. You've got mindset, which is also a keyword here. And then, of course, methods and methodology is something that we've already discussed. So all this makes up Agile. Now, if you're even more confused as to what Agile really is and why don't we have a single line or two-line definition about what Agile is, imagine the Agile umbrella. Think of Agile as an umbrella which has several different things. We talked about the set of methods and methodologies, one of them being Scrum, which is obviously the most common approach to Agile. So a lot of agile teams actually use Scrum. And what these teams do is they grab a piece of work from the product backlog and they work in sprints to deliver this piece of work. Now, even if you don't understand it, it's okay. Even if you don't understand the second sentence here, that's perfectly fine. I have a list of videos in the description below, which is our in a nutshell series where we have talked about agile, we've talked about Scrum in a nutshell, we've talked about what sprint really is. So I'll share those links in the description below. You can refer to them to understand more about Scrum, to understand more about sprint, to understand more about agile. But since this is a 101 session, I just want you to make sure that you understand the fact that Scrum is the most popularly used way of achieving agile in organizations. The other way, which is actually growing nowadays, is SAFe, also known as Scaled Agile. And the Scaled Agile framework, what it does is it addresses the problem that several teams had when they were scaling the way Agile works beyond a single team. So Scrum works in a single team, a Scrum team. But if you want to go beyond a single team, if you want to involve multiple teams, scaled agile framework or SAFe is the way to go. Similarly, we have Lean and Kanban. Again, all of these are part of the Agile umbrella itself. So Lean focuses on reducing wastage and Kanban focuses on improving and implementing micro changes, not large changes, not vast changes, but micro changes. So when you combine the two, what you're doing is basically introducing a lean mindset of how teams can reduce waste, teams can reduce the time it takes for doing something, for achieving something, and at the same time how you can improve and introduce micro changes, and implementing them can of course help in reducing wastage and overall process improvement as well. Another term within the agile umbrella is extreme programming, which is abbreviated as XP. And what it does is the beneficial elements of software engineering, it takes those beneficial elements and it moves them to extreme levels. It turns on the volume so high for beneficial elements that they are at extreme levels now. An example could be code reviews. So a good practice, a best practice in software engineering is to have a colleague of yours do a code review of the code that you have written. It is called peer code review. But in extreme programming, code review is taken to an extreme level and it is actually done continuously, and it is known as pair programming. So continuous code review or pair programming is basically one of the features of extreme programming. And of course, there are many other methods, methodologies, frameworks, practices, approaches, whatever you want to call them, that belong to the Agile umbrella, like less disciplined agile delivery, Nexus, dynamic software development method, also known as DSDM, feature driven development, FDD, Crystal, and of course, the number is increasing. There are several others, like I said, that fall in the Agile umbrella. A quick request from PMC Lounge. If you like our work, if you benefit from it, consider contributing over at pmclounge.com/contribute. Back to the video. So far, we've talked about the different methods and methodologies, the set of methods and methodologies that make up Agile, right? That come under the Agile umbrella. And we also know that these methods and methodologies basically address certain areas, specific areas of software engineering. So, what exactly brings them together? How come all of these are part of Agile itself? Let's take examples. Let's talk about something that we've already discussed, like Scrum. Scrum, the focus of Scrum is on project management, right? What work is getting done and how it is being planned. That's what Scrum focuses on. But when we talk about extreme programming, the focus is actually on software development. XP focuses on writing high quality code which is easy to maintain. That's the focus of XP, which is extremely different from what Scrum does. Scrum does project management. Extreme programming does focus on, focuses on software development. And then there's Lean and Kanban. The focus here is on continuous improvement, process improvements. It's basically a combination of Lean mindset. So you can see how these three methods and methodologies are so different from each other in terms of what they focus on. Still, they come under the Agile umbrella. By the way, if you want to know more about these three, we've actually done separate videos on Scrum, Sprint, Extreme Programming, Lean, Kanban, Six Sigma. All of those videos will be linked in the description below. So if you want to know more about these, check those links out. Very, very important and very, very helpful videos that you can see around these topics. So the question here is what brings all of them together? The answer to that question is shared values and principles. The shared values and principles that Agile brings to the table, that is exactly what brings these diverse concepts, these diverse topics, these diverse methods and methodologies together under the Agile umbrella. So we'll be doing a video on shared values and principles. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already so that you don't miss out on that video. Question for today: do you manage projects using Agile or do you use the traditional waterfall model, also known as the predictive model? What do you use on your daily project management work? Let me know in the comments. Also, let me know what industry do you work in. So there's a common misconception that Agile is limited to IT industry. Are you working on Agile and not in IT industry? I'd love to know your experience around it. And that's all that we had in this video. I hope you got value out of it. Smash that like button and let us know that you got value out of it. You learned something about Agile today. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay notified every time we upload new content. And don't forget to check out the website pmclounge.com, your number one free PMP resource. Thank you.